All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow, and remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very special guest for you. I'll give you a couple of words about my guest. Solutions, corporate, visionary, author. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Houston, Texas, put your hands together. Mr. Will Matthews. What's up? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great. I am glad to have you on the show. You are the author of a book, basically called Everything I Need to Know About Corporate America. And in these days and times, especially for those who are coming into corporate America, fresh out of college or whatever, there's many different things, that they're facing that basically, maybe 5 or 10 years ago wasn't really in play, pandemic being one.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're going to get into that in a second. But first things first, I want to talk about your book and basically, what's it about? What's the vision behind it?
Well, thank you. First and foremost, thank you very much for the opportunity to be on your show and for the platform. It's a pleasure to spend this Thursday evening with you. The book, this is my third book. Actually, it came out yesterday and the title is Everything I Need to Know About Corporate America. Pretty much it's a Black man's experience with dealing with corporate America and in the midst of everything. So in the book, I kind of talk about clearly race relations, systemic racism, episode that I went through a couple of years ago, actually, that was a racist moment through someone, a part of my executive leadership team. And I also talk about networking, how to build your brand and things that I think every professional should have in their closet. I have some fashion experts talking about interview attire. And then I'm also talking about the importance of having a mentor and mentee relationship and how that really made the difference in my career, college, graduate school, as well as once I entered corporate America, that mentor really saved me from jumping off a cliff. So all of those things I'm talking about in the book, it's an easy to read book. It's a guide. And if it's possibly not for you, you might know someone that could really benefit for it. So it's the gift that keeps on giving.
There you go. The gift that keeps on giving. We love those around here at Word with Ty Brownlow. I can tell you that right now. Where can we get the book?
The book is available on Amazon. So I know everyone that's watching has an Amazon Prime membership. So if you order the book right now, it'll be on your doorstep tomorrow. There's also a Kindle edition available, but I always encourage everyone to get the actual hard book that you can pass along to someone else when you finish reading it.
Hard copies are the best, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with a Kindle.
True.
Hard copies are the best. Okay.
It's great for traveling and vacations, but you should be at home.
Right.
You should be at home. Everyone should be safe. 6 distance, mask, washing your hands. So you don't really need that Kindle. You need the book. That way, you get finished reading it, you can pass it on to someone else that it can help and inspire.
Did I also mention he's great in marketing, ladies and gentlemen? There you go. All right. There it is. But no, so let's just talk a little bit about, coming into corporate America, especially people of color. As you said, you've had some incidents in corporate America, especially racial. And, we're in very crazy times during this time. So, I'm going to take it from what's really going on. First is, what's like some advice you have for young professionals coming in during this pandemic? Well, as you said, you have those coming out of grad school. They're not really sure of the job market now because it's like, oh my God, there's so much going on. Any words of advice of those, who may, think of entering the corporate world, coming fresh out of college, grad school, what have you?
Yeah, great question. Great question to start with. I think that it's important. We are in the midst of a pandemic, so everything has moved virtually. Case in point, a lot of job interviews are happening the same way you and I are connecting right now. So I think that they should be prepared to give the best virtual interview as possible. And you really have to treat that virtual interview the same way you would if you were going in person. So having your suit, together, ladies or men, you know, having that suit together, having pants on. Now, I will tell you, sometimes it feels a little bit comfortable just to have business up top, party below. But I will tell you, mentally, if you're fully dressed from head to toe, your mind game will be on point. So I would give that piece of advice to people. So just make sure that you have everything on from head to toe when you're doing these virtual interviews. And then obviously make sure you do your research. Make sure you're in a quiet area of your home. Make sure that the little brother or sister or kids or whoever, they're away. You have good lighting, and you really try to find the best angle in your home to give the interview. You want to make sure that your background is clean and clear. Clean is the key word, because people are paying attention to all of that. Now, if you have been fortunate to land a job in this pandemic, and it might be your first job, or maybe you're switching careers, or no matter where you are on the stratosphere, on the mid-management level, I just think that it's important that to go into it knowing that things are going to be very different. You might be used to having team meetings, events. All of that is really going out the window over these past 9 to 10 months, and we have no idea how long this is going to last. So you have to be prepared to deal with a team, work on projects, everything virtually. You might be working on assignment with someone, and you might have never met this person physically, because it's only the interaction has been on Zoom and phone calls and via emails. And this is our new normal that we're in. So I think it's important to kind of go into the job with that mindset. And then lastly, I will say, you got to be creative. We're all living with this new normal, and no matter where you are, what kind of career path you have, everyone, no matter what industry you're in, you're having to be creative and think outside the box. And I think that that's really important, that when you go into this job on day number one, you need to come with a creative mindset. What worked 3 years ago, or 4 or 5 years ago, or hell, even 9 months ago, is not going to work now. So give yourself grace, be creative, and just know that it's not going to look like the way it did a few years ago. And I think other than that, you'll be fine.
Now, I think what you just said is key. It's not going to, hell, a year. Well, we're coming up on a year now.
A year, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
As crazy as it boggles the mind sometimes, we're really coming up on a year. So, but we can't go back to last March of how we were doing business. As you said, things still have to get done. And as you said, you know, especially if you go into a new position, man, hats off to you first and foremost, but you have to get to know a person virtually. So, you know, we have many different types of people, you know, especially when it comes to corporate. You know, we have all those extroverts who really go the big mile, and then we have those introverts. Hey, you know what? I'll just be behind the scenes. You don't know, I'm not going to say a lot or what have you, but if you have that type of personality and you're trying to get into the, you know, corporate world, I think the big key you just hinted on is try to be creative. Even if you know you're not that direct when it comes to speaking, sometimes being creative speaks for you. So I agree. All right. Okay. Amy, man, look here. We can talk about that all night, but we gotta go up. Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, I've been seeing a lot, and I want your thoughts on this. Corporations post George Floyd. Okay. All of a sudden, some of these corporations, you know, we love Black Lives Matter, we love people of color, we love all our BIPOC, and you, they're all Oprah now, you know. Yeah. Everybody's Oprah. Even though they were not Oprah beforehand, but now all of a sudden it's okay. But let's just say you're in the corporate world and, you know, you're trying to climb that ladder. And as you said, you've had some instances where you dealt with racial, you know, stuff, you know, in corporate. What are your thoughts on people of color trying to climb the corporate ladder post George Floyd?
It's tough. It just kind of breaks my heart that in the 21st century, 2021, we're still having this race relation conversation. I think that a lot of people feel that George Floyd was the wake-up call, and I disagree with that. I think the alarm has been going off. I think America just choose to hit the snooze button. So I feel that a lot of companies, definitely in corporations, large and small. This past summer, every company had a diversity committee. Every company had an inclusion and all of that. And they were putting out their statements and showing all their black and brown faces in the show that we rock with you. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a very optimistic person. I live my life as looking at the glass as half full, but I'm also a realist. And I feel that no changes will be made in corporate America until there are black and brown faces at the board of directors table, until there are black or brown faces in the corner executive offices, C-suite level. So I have a lot of friends that now are chairing the diversity and inclusion committee at that organization. A lot of them have reached out to me for pointers and tips, and I congratulate them. But part of me do feel that it's just a bit smoke and mirrors, just because that's just what you do. And I've got this question a lot this week. And as my book is really about a black man's experience in corporate America and race relations, and it's just ultimately, until the board of directors change, until the C-suite level leadership looks different. And you have to understand that, as I share with people will remain in their bubble. So if I'm used to playing golf, living in my gated community, that's who I'm going to do business with. When I have a board seat available, I'm going to reach out to Jimmy, John, James, or whoever, because our kids go to the same private school and we talk all the time. Or, so I think that there's this saying in the business world that says everyone is in bed together. And what that means is everyone's on the golf course together, everyone's in the same carpool line together, decisions are made over there. And when you have a spot or an opening or a VP position, you're going to reach out to the guy that you play golf with, or you're going to reach out to the girl the young lady that belongs to your alma mater or went to your school or in your sorority or fraternity or whatever. So I think that until there's different creative voices at the table, we will continue to have this issue that we're facing and dealing with.
Hey, you know what? You, sir, are spot on. Just not too long ago, I just seen an article where basically some company was apologizing and they want to do better with their PR staff, and this ad they rolled out saying, basically stated, well, we won't, look at you funny anymore while coming into the store. We won't purposely go out of our way to do these things, and just the way it was set up, I'm like, okay, first of all, it couldn't have been a person of color on your PR staff that approved this ad that you're going to roll out, because this is like a slap in the face. And I just feel like now with you know what, I'm just going to call them out, Gucci, even somewhat, some of these other brands, well, I know a lot of black people shop at Target and Walmart or what have you, but still, they have to do a little bit more. They're in these communities that really these people buy their products. These people cater to you. And hats off to Target and Walmart, of getting more of us into their stores as far as to sell our products. But, still, we need a little bit more. And as you said, until these board of directors and, these C-suite level people look like you and I, and they're making great decisions for us or whatever, and people like us, then as you said, it's never going to change. So,
and I want to even take it up a step now that you named a few companies, but I always want us tied to, especially in black and brown neighborhoods or individuals, to think about, let's look at the sports industry. And when you look at a football or basketball, 90% of the players are African-American. But when you go, and I work with a lot of corporate partners in the sports arena here in the city that I live in, Houston. And when I visit the executive offices, nobody looks like me.
No.
And I actually had an opportunity at one of the sports franchises here. And I had someone pull me to the side and say, you don't want to go over there because people that look like you, they have a very difficult time. And I said, but you got to be kidding me, because 90% of the team, they said, you will struggle in the corporate office over there. And so I think we should not only point out some of these big corporations, but also the favorite pastime of what we do is watching a basketball or football or whatever the case. Yeah. Let's really think about the corporate landscape behind the scenes. of those organizations. And I mean, that's another conversation.
Oh man,
we can talk all night about. So it's just mind-boggling to me. And again, as I stated, that it's so unfortunate that in the 21st century we're still having these conversations. I love to say that I love to share with people that Black people were, while other people were fighting for building their wealth, Black people were just fighting for equality. So we're so far behind, So, but anyway.
No. And look, you know what? And we're going to get off the soapbox, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But I mean, these things that we're hitting on are key. It's not like this isn't going anywhere or whatever. Like, this is still here. And especially you're talking about professional sports. And look no further than baseball,
Right.
And, you really want to get, even though we don't make up the majority or what have you, but basketball, man, corporate level, they're not going to look a lot like us. No owners, really.
Right.
There's only a few. Football, please. Okay, they just had issues with diversity as far as like hiring Black coaches, and that was a joke,
Right.
So yeah, and pretty much in this day and age, sports and corporate, go hand in hand. So they really do need one another. But we're gonna move past that, ladies and gentlemen. We moving on. We getting off our soapbox. All right. Okay. All right. So my next question to you would be basically tips on being a successful entrepreneur. Like, what would be your tips on being a successful entrepreneur, if you have?
I think it's important to kind of build a strong team around you. I live by the saying, it takes a village, and I live by that, trust me. So you have to have a strong set of people around you that will hold you accountable, and not just yes people. Whether if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, someone that can help you with the financial things, or when you're having a bad day, someone that you could vent to, someone that you could just pray and meditate to. Yes. So I think you need to have a really strong, tight circle. I try to live by, I surround myself with people that I want to be like and people that I aspire to. Mm-hmm. So I'm very particular about my space and my energy and who I let in my circle. Mm-hmm. And most of my friends that are in my top 5 are doing big things. And so I think that says a lot about me as a person, because who I surround myself with. And I think secondly, it's important to definitely have a mentor. And I talk about this in the book, that I kind of dedicate a whole chapter on the importance of a mentor-mentee relationship and how it's so beneficial and important no matter where you are in your career. I think everyone would need a mentor. And then when you get to a certain point where you feel that you have something to kind of give back to someone, pull someone up. But that mentor will really make the difference, I think, for entrepreneurs. It's important to have one that looks like you and one that doesn't look like you. That's the key that really helped me. And then it's important to have one that's in your particular industry or field that you want to be in, and one that's not, because their perspectives will be really different. So it's okay if you have about 4 or 5 mentors at one time. That's okay. And lastly, I would say have a vision and know your audience. I start out every year with a vision board of things that I would like to do. And this is personal and professional. So I meet so many people that have this idea and a name or a company and what they want to do, but they haven't necessarily done the research. Because my first question is, well, who is your audience? Well, it's everyone. I say, no, you need to narrow this down a little bit, because that will help you. Because remember, your product, your service is to solve something for someone or to help someone. So you really need to know who your target audience is. And it could be working with a marketing person, a life coach, or whatever, but someone that can kind of help you get on the right path. So I just think it's really important to kind of have a vision in place, and having a vision board or whatever it could be. I'm a visual person, so having a vision board is really important to me. But you definitely want to go into the entrepreneur mindset with the vision, because otherwise you're driving without a destination.
You're driving without a destination. Bar. Boom. There you go. All right. There you, man. Hey.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Boom. Obama style. 2 hands. Boom. There you go. All right. So look, if people want to get in contact with you, how can people get in contact with you?
You can go to my website, williamsmatthews.com. That's Matthews with 2 T's. I'm on social media, Instagram at William S. Matthews and Twitter at Mr. W.S. Matthews. But again, if you go to my website, you can find all of that. I do respond. There are actually, and I have a YouTube channel too, and you can go to my YouTube channel, William S. Matthews, and someone just sent me a message via YouTube based on one of my videos, and within 5 minutes, I responded to them. So I'm accessible. I am accessible.
All right. Okay. Just don't stalk him, people. All right. Y'all can ask questions. Just don't stalk the man. Okay. Like, man, can you help me with my taxes? Bruh, he can't help you with your taxes, bro. Okay. All right. No. Won't do that. All right. All right.
And I had a family member that said they wrote a book on, how to make money. And they came to me and said, I just need some money on, publishing it. And I said, well, read the book. I mean, if you write a book about how to get money, don't come to me for money. So, man, you have no idea. So,
I can. Okay. So, you know what? Before I ask my last question, I'm going to ask this question. What's the one thing people misconstrue, about being independent and about being an entrepreneur and about starting your own?
There's so many. I don't think I can think of just one. I probably could think of three. First, that you're connected. You know everybody. You're connected to everybody. If I wanted to, they probably think I can call the mayor right now. Then the fact that, well, you always got time because you don't have no 9 to 5 to clock into. So what do you mean you can't go to this at 2 o'clock in the middle of the day? They don't understand that. And I think lastly that you got plenty of money because you're not working for the man. You got your own thing. So I was fortunate that both of my parents were entrepreneurs. So I grew up, I saw the struggle, I saw the blessings that came with it, but I also saw the sacrifices and the challenges. So I knew it was no cakewalk, and most entrepreneurs work harder than anyone that I know that have that 9 to 5 with benefits and all of that. But it's the price you pay. There's a caveat to everything. It's a catch-22 situation. It pluses and minuses that come with it. But yeah, those are some of the best that they can just pick up the phone and call you and try to get $2,000 and with the mayor. Who's your contact at the New York Times? What? Well, how did you get on TV last week? I saw you interviewing on Fox News. So what's your contact at Fox? Because I got a project that I would like to pitch to them.
Whoa. Right. But people.
I get it all. I've received, I've gotten it all. One of the main reasons why I didn't go to law school was because I felt that family, and primarily family, will be contacting me for free legal advice. And I quickly changed my mind and said, no, I'm not taking no LSAT.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, one of the words I used was visionary. Obviously, you have to have the vision to be like, you know what? I know how that's going to end. No, you know what? Yeah. Let me go over here. Right. This looks a little better, But no, man, I have enjoyed our conversation. Like, this has been great, man. Like,
likewise. Thank you.
Real. Unfortunately, I've come to the last question, the question my show is known for, so I have to ask. Mr. Will Matthews, what is the one word that describes you and why?
Renaissance. My brand is all about being a Renaissance man. Even my slogan is boy by birth, man by age, gentleman by choice. And since I'm in so many different sectors, I do corporate event planning, fundraising, real estate investments, author, public speaking. You can't put me in a box. And I just really like to share with people. When people say, well, tell me more about who is William or Will Matthews. And I said, I'm a modern day Renaissance man. So I think the best word to describe me in one word would be Renaissance.
All right. Well, look here. I know one word to describe Will Matthews. Will Matthews is my new friend because he came up with one of my favorite words, which is Renaissance. So anybody that I know throwing that word out, hey, man, you can hang out with me anytime of the day. So you are now my friend. Ain't nothing you can do about it. We buddies for life now. Okay. All right. All right. No, but you know what? I appreciate that because that's a real strong word, and a lot of people don't really know what comes along with that. Like you have to be a student of the game in all aspects in order to just function just on the one,
right.
Because there's so many different parts of you just making up this one component, man. Right. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Man, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I have been your host, Ty Brownlow. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Word with Ty Brownlow, or you can just go to my website, tybrownlow.com, get this wonderful interview plus other great interviews. Man, Will Matthews, my new friend, y'all. Man, look, I have, enjoyed this conversation, brother.
Yeah.
You are more than welcome to come back
Thank
to the show anytime. You got something else going on, man, come on back. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ty. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity and the platform to talk about my book and all the things that make me who I am, Mr. Renaissance. So thank you.
The boy got class, y'all. All right, we out.